I'm actually going to do a drawing with them because I haven't done a drawing in this little book, one of my little abstracts that I do. They're unplanned. I call them, what do I call it? Stream of consciousness. These are things that I do without any plans, basically any. I've got the hiccups again. I swear, the minute I go live. I wonder if there is such a thing as an allergy. Anyway, so I'm just, well, I'm just going to grab my microns and see what happens here. Because I'm going to see if I can find my live. And before I do this, hold on a second. It's not showing me live here, so let's go here. Let's go here. Live. And there I am. Okay, we look like we're in here pretty good. I finally found an old towel. Actually, this is one of my last painting towels that I finally dug out. I've got my paints all prepped. That means I spritzed them with watercolor, because that's what you do. And I've got my page taped down. Maybe knock on wood, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, something always goes wrong when I try to do a live in here. But, I mean, in the beginning, then I get it set up. But I can't seem to set it up and get it on time. But I'm going to actually start this from the beginning. So it's two things. It's testing out, these are Marie's Chinese watercolors. They call them Chinese, I got these on TikTok. And I thought, well, they're selling Marie's. I don't know. But this is the cover I got. Okay. And since I think you're vertical, I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, and they're called Chinese painting color. And it's spelled the English way, by the way. There's 36 colors, 36 tubes. These are the itty-bitty tubes. They're 5 milliliters. These will fill probably half a pan, a half pan, once, maybe. Okay? They're going to fill these twice, I would assume. Maybe with a little extra, maybe with a not so much. But this is what I'm testing out today. And I've already had them, I've already got them in my tubes and yakety-yak and all that stuff. And I even have my color chart ready to go. So, I'm ready to start my painting. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you that I noticed was the amount of binder that came out when I squeezed these in. These were brand new. Okay, I had just opened them pretty much. And I squeezed them in here, and every one of these, I actually had put in some, I do this, I usually put a drop of binder in the bottom of each pan, and then one about halfway filled, and then I fill them up, and then I'll mix them. Hopefully that's supposed to keep the paints from cracking really badly when they dry. And because if they crack, and these are travel kits here, all right? Now, I don't always work with travel kits, but I just got them all finished, so I'm getting them all, I got them all put together with colors that I like and different brands and blah, 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 okay? And when you travel around, they get cracked. Well, I had one, I opened it up and it just, you know, I have a hard time getting these tins open and some of this stuff, okay? And I popped it, and everything went everywhere, and paint went all over. So, it was a mess. I mean, I tried to save it, but I just thought, okay, that's the end of it. I sent the robot vacuum out to sweep it all up and just start it over again. So, I'm not having that happen again if I can avoid it. So, I put a little bit of binder in each one. And then halfway through, another little bit. I did not have to do that with these. I wished I hadn't put it in this first 2 rows here. They didn't need it. This was 50% binder when it came out, so I'm not even worrying about that here, okay? So far, though, I will tell you this. I painted this yesterday. I was just goofing around. They seem to be fairly saturated. They're not chalky. They are definitely not high on the transparency scale. Admittedly, I've got a lot of paint on these. That sort of wasn't my fault. I just dipped in, and pretty much just the basic baby tip of this got me a ton of pigment. All right? I mean, that's pretty strong pigment. Okay, that could actually use a little water there. All right, because this is Arizona. This is our dry season. I'm sorry, but when the heat starts, before the monsoons start, I mean, take a look at how opaque this stuff is. I mean, it's hard to tell now because this is the same color and I've got a lot of levels, but anyway, it gets hot out here, so you have to keep mixing these all day long. But that's a lot. Okay? That's a lot of... I just dipped this in here. All right? That's a lot of pigment. I'm pretty impressed with that. So this... Actually, I really never got control of it playing with this. I wasn't paying too much attention to that either. I was just goofing yesterday. Today I'm going to pay a little more attention. But, like I said, I'm not unimpressed with the amount of pigment they've got in them. Now, I'm just going to start here. Now, I do not pre-dampen these sheets. I know you're supposed to, but seriously, folks, you know, I'm not going to. This is a different kind of painting. I'm not doing it. This is very graphic. They're flat washes, pretty much. All right, there's a little bit of color change here and a little bit here. Not much here, and a little here, nothing here. So I'm not really, I'm not really kind of taking advantage of the watercolors as I should be. But I love to paint, so I could do these with markers. I have watercolor markers. And I'd be probably, I hate this one. Honestly, I should paint this over. Just really, No, I'm going to do this one. I'll come back to that some other day. All right? Because I'm testing watercolors, so we don't want to put anything else on the, on the ticket today. Well, anyway, so I usually start from this end. I'm right-handed. If you ever noticed, artists, I do it. We all do it, and I noted. I tried to stop it. Like when I draw faces, if I draw them to one side, I tend to have them facing to the left, not to the right. I'm more comfortable drawing them that way. I don't know if it's because you're right-handed. I have no idea. I'm assuming that is the reason. But I always found that interesting. And like I said, I did try to... But it made me... I wasn't using my left hand. I was using my right hand. But I wasn't as comfortable drawing the face facing this way. Interesting. So if I was designing something, I can, obviously... because I have to, or had to, when I was illustrating books, but never liked it as much. Wasn't as comfortable. Didn't go as fast. I don't think I ever did as good of a job when a face was facing that way for me. Yeah, maybe I did. I don't know. I just never enjoyed it. I just noticed that I always start over here in this corner. So I'm going to start here in this corner. Okay, and that was convoluted, wasn't it? I don't like this. It's very shaky. You know, this is interesting. This paper is bleeding a tad bit. That tells me, well, these are different pens that I usually use. These are markers. They're Pigma Microns. And I prefer rollerballs. I love Uniball. But I got these because they had so many different sizes, and I got a set of them, and I thought, you know, fine. But they are bleeding into this watercolor paper, and they're not giving me a clean line. Let me show you the difference. If you look here, and I don't know if you can see that close, but this line is a heck of a lot cleaner than that one is. And that means I may have wasted my money if I was buying these for this purpose. Whoops, wrong cap. But since I have started with this one, I'm going to finish with it. Well, I wonder if this works for that. Hold on a second. I just smeared it. That does not give me confidence about so-called waterproof. I just tested it. This is, yes, you are looking at the same thing that would be a, oh, that's not working on this paper. That also happens to be dirty. I could have cleaned this off, and I will. Oh, shoot, I didn't want to get him wet. Now, when I put paint down, that's going to take it, because I've already wetted it. I've already wet it. I don't know. Now, I'm not worried about coming out here. There's a border here. So, I'll touch that up when I paint it. It'll go away, but in the meantime, it will bug me. I'm not going to like these, not on watercolor paper. I might like them better. Oh yeah, much better. On a drawing paper, this is not, but this is. Yeah. Because it's cold press, and it does have a texture. And it's, you know, using its texture. Just try, before I get too involved in this, and I may have already screwed myself here. Let's try something. You know, I did this color combination, and I want to use this. I've used a lot of the other colors. I mean, I want to do this. And that's this color right here, just a little bit. Now, that water is sitting on top, so that should keep me from getting these quite so. Well, this is interesting. All right. No, I can't do it there. All right, I'm just going to have to create I love these flat brushes. See, I'm trying not to get pigment, and I got a ton of it, and I don't want that much pigment. I want more water. I want to get some. I don't want the full blast of this pigment on everything. I kind of do with this red, but I do want to have some tonal quality in here. Now I'm going to go right on top of that black. I want to see if it's going to move at all. And right here I'm going to go. No, it's not. It is here, interestingly, on the tape, but it's not on the watercolor paper. So it's not moving. That's good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now that I've got that done, I think the little chipmunks are out on my porch again, slumping around. I'm going to dry that, because I don't want to sit and wait. So hang on, this is going to be noisy. I just don't want it drying my paints at the same time. This, by the way, is not a hairdryer. This is a hot air gun or a heat gun, either way you want to call it. And that will burn the dickens out of your hands or anything, and you don't want to put it on your hair. That's dry. It's dry enough. Okay, this will work. I'll go ahead and use it since I started with it. But I'm going to have to refurbish my other pens because I do prefer them for this. But in the meantime, it's all right. I like variations in my lines when I do things like this. And I may leave both of these just the way they are. And yeah, it has kind of like associations with neurographic art. Look at that color. Very, very, very little granulation going on, but I mean, just a little. You don't get a lot in most reds. Anyway. But, and I'm, doing abstracts. I love granulating paints because they create textures. They create textures of their own. In other words, to make it easier for me, they do surprising things that it's exciting. And I don't know how to explain this, but it's sort of like feeds your creativity. If I'm just watching. I actually contacted Daniel Smith Paints. They have they had a big image. I don't know how big it was. It looked like it could have been a poster, but they had an image of all their what's that line called? The one that's all the granulating paints. Starts with a P. Whatever. Of those paints, all the granulating paints. Oh my God, they're incredible. That gives the number, the pigment numbers and the light fast and all that kind of stuff. And these things do such incredible stuff. I stared at that thing. I just looked at it for hours, going, "Oh, look at this one! Oh, look at this one! Oh, I want them all. My God, they cost as much as my car. I buy all of them." Well, what I'm telling you is those are very expensive watercolors, and I have a very cheap car. I'm sorry. I love cars, I do, but if I can't have a classic, then just give me a car that'll get me where I'm going, because I don't care otherwise. Did I let this dry? A little. Where was I? Okay, I guess I'm not going to let this one stay thin because, unfortunately, I have to cover where I went over the line. when I was testing to see if it was bleeding. Same thing here. But I can thin this out. Or, let's do this. Because these are going to be the main, this is going to be the main function, this whole thing anyway. Everything else is going to be smaller and thinner. Wow, it really, you know what? It is not doing, it's not bleeding here. It did here badly. Which makes me wonder, I don't know how that can happen out here. It's so freaking dry. Okay, you know, high humidity for us, 60% is like a sauna to us. Okay, I mean, it's just, we're usually, what are we at humidity today? I bet you anything we're at like 10% or something. If that. I gotta see now. I've made myself curious. But I don't understand why it's fuzzy, but over here it's not. That means somehow moisture got in there. It happens. My really good watercolor paper is kept in sealed bags. Why is that here? Okay, what am I doing? I'm looking to see what the weather is. Hold on. A fire watch. Well, that says one thing right there. Doesn't give the humidity. I don't know why it doesn't. Humidity similar to yesterday. Oh, here it is, 17%. Okay, 17%. That's actually, you know, the air is very dry. Well, we're used to that. I mean, seriously. Okay, but that, you know, honestly, when you're working in watercolors, that makes a big, it makes a big difference. Okay, I don't know what that's for. Okay, now, I just keep saying, okay. You know, this is actually kind of split the page very nicely so far. But if I put a circle here, I don't think I'd like that. Let me look. Here, give me this one. Yes, I use templates. You bet I do. Nah. It doesn't break up nicely. Sure, first of all, I don't like drawing circles because I always mess them up. Circles, and I love circles. I shouldn't say that. I love circles, but I'm fussy about getting them round, and I can't do that without help. And on something like this, where it's hand-drawn, and even the straight lines are hand-drawn, so they're not perfectly straight. It looks dumb if you have a circle that's drawn with a template, so it's perfect, and everything else, you know, isn't. So I'm kind of forced to draw them by hand, and the bigger they are, the harder they are for me. Okay, I'm going to make this pretty simple, just simply because I don't want to be here all day, because I'm basically just testing out colors. Oops. And I don't want to spend forever on it. And I can spend just as much time on this as I could as a full-blown painting. I've been known to do it. I get caught up in little things. I want to make this guy a little, oh God, that scared me. I want to make this guy a little fatter to match that over there. Bring him out just a little bit. And give him kind of a extra punch of fat. Now, I do like circles, however. So, what I like to do a lot is create an element with a grouping of smaller elements. I'm going to go off the page with this one. That's okay. I'll have to straighten them out a little bit. Didn't mean to do that, but there we go. That's going to drive me crazy until I pull the tape off. Oops. Okay, now, do I want to get another big circle in there? Or do I have to get rid of that. I have to, so I don't see it. It'll drive me, my eye will go to it. Yes, I have issues. Ah! Well, you're just not going to accommodate me today, but I'll tell you who will. These guys. Oh, Jesus. It's interesting. These guys are sort of waterproof, this, but I just don't want to look at it. At least that kind of tones it down for me a little bit, but I have to clean this off now. But these guys, they actually act like paint. They're water soluble. I was trying on one of my little mini landscapes. I put it on there to highlight some mountains, and it just occurred to me, and I took a paintbrush to them, and sure enough, I toned it all down. It was water soluble. I like those. Everybody on YouTube recommends those. They are for, you know, for touching up, for highlights and stuff. They are Uniball Signos. That's how they're spelled, okay? Obviously, they're coming from Japan, all right? I don't care where they're coming from. These are the best I've ever used. As far as a ballpoint or, you know, a ball bearing type of pen. All right, so the question was, no, I actually don't want to do that. You know what I do want to do? This. Okay. That, I might, ooh, well that sure left this open. Ooh. Oh, do I have to do it? I don't want to. Well, all right, I'm going to do this. This thing, I have to remember, and I should come in from this way. Going in this way, I hit it. It's enough of a bump to throw my pen. All right, that cuts it. I didn't want this going all the way through. Now, I actually like that. I think I'm going to repeat that. Well, that's a very small area. I don't need to break it up. I don't want to do that. I'll tell you what I do want to do, though. Shoot. Not quite what I wanted to do. That's all right. It's no big deal. I do like that. If I bring it up this way, like that, it continues it. And I can continue it with color or not as I choose. There. Oh, now there's no reason I can't do that. Aha, didn't catch me this time. Is this going to bug me if I don't have a third one in there? Yeah, it is. All right. Now, I don't want to do too much more, but I want to break this up a little bit. And that can be done with a triangle. All right. My finger caught right there, and it was going to make me really screw up. I could feel it, so I let go. Better this little bump than what would have happened. My finger caught right on the edge. It's interesting. I don't remember. This didn't have a border, and the other one didn't have a border. Will you open up? Yeah, see, I've had a border on there before. I don't remember this causing a problem before. I like the borders. When I don't have a border, it comes off. It can get into the, like, right here. And I don't like that. Not a big deal, but, I mean, it's a practice book, so. Interesting. Now, I like that. But if I do that, I have to think about that. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there. And I'm pretty sure, yep, it is. Okay. What I'm looking for, and I'm pretty sure it was on there, is this, I do this little graphic thing that I like with these. Okay. I happen to like, or like this. I like abstract, and I like, because I like the forms. To me, this is the most important thing, is the color, form. It's the basics of art, and abstracts give you all of that. Okay? It doesn't have to look like a tree, or a fish, or a thumb. Anyway, see, it's still bugging me. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do them kind of cockeyed and weird. Ooh, messy. Three is enough there. I just stuck my fingers in my paint. Yeah, no nails, I'm getting ready. I'm having an operation tomorrow. And I'm getting ready. You got to take a shower. I wonder if they really have to tell people to take showers before they come in for an operation. But you got to take a shower. And no creams, no lotions, no hairspray, no stuff. Okay? No, so nothing, no jewelry, you got to go in, bare naked like the good Lord dropped you off here on the planet. Nothing but you in the air. So I had to clean up everything. I like this. Oh. I'm going to do this. There. And that gives me a little balance. Okay. That gives me a little balance and makes me happy. I still have to figure out if I put that there, if it swings there, do I need it anywhere else? What I'm thinking, and in fact, well, maybe I'm not going to put it there. I kind of didn't set myself up for a good location for that. I don't want to get this too busy in here. A lot of times I would kind of swing it and then bring it. I could do that. It's not going to work though. I don't like it. It's too short of a... But I could do that and make it smaller. Okay. Okay. Boy, this is tight. Okay. And this one. Now, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is going to be interesting because I'm going to have to, and I'm going to start right here. I'm going to have to curve it around. Okay. This is kind of a little signature of mine in this series. And I like to do it. I paint rocks to give away to little kids and, you know, thank people. I just carry them around with me. Because sometimes I just want to sit down and play with my acrylic markers. And I get rocks about this big and do some cute designs. I'll sit down and do like 8 or 9 in a set using the same colors. So if I want to send somebody a big, you know, give a big gift, then it'll be the whole set. And if I just want to give away 1 or 2, I'll just give away 1 or 2. I haven't done rocks for a while. I should, you know. I got back into my watercolors, and this is my first love. So are colored pencils, but the problem with colored pencils is that they take a long time. If you want to make something, a project, do it in colored pencil. I love it. I love doing it. It's, you know, I love the medium. And, you know, it's like, what is it with me and these, you know, mediums that have issues with light fastness. Okay, watercolors, you've got to protect them. They should be framed. They should be framed behind UV glass. And I can guarantee probably about 50% of these are fugitive, and that means, or close to it. That means any exposure to the sun or ultraviolet light is going to, you know, fade these. Like my dying youth. Okay, let's not talk about my dying youth. I haven't seen that in a while. I miss it. But that's what fugitive colors are. Well, that worked out good here. I'm glad that worked out because I didn't think ahead, and it could have been not happy making. I'm coloring these in. Yes, I've got this with a brush, come to think of it, but nah. Okay, so these can start going, okay, so up. Okay, well, you're a little tight, but that's okay. You're just not quite right, but it's close enough that nobody will see it unconsciously. Believe it or not, if it was off, you know, like if there wasn't supposed to be another one right here, and it was off base over here or something, you'd notice it. You wouldn't know what was bugging you, but you'd notice it. you know, when you're an artist, you're going to be careful. You can't, people will look at it, it will make them uncomfortable. They won't know why. They won't be able to point out what the issue is. But they instinctively can feel it. Okay? Especially the intuitive type people. All right? Okay, so I'm going to have to put this in here. All right. That's good. This always makes me say, I think the reason I like it is because it reminds me of Beetlejuice. Remember his suit? The black and white. And the snake. I love that black and white. Okay, so this is here. So that is there. So, yeah. White, white, white. Black, yes, it's going to be awful close. I'm going to do that because, honestly, that's kind of where it would be. Sometimes I'll, you know, cheat a little because it'll be in such a bad position that would bug you. Little things like that, you have to be careful with them. You know, I keep forgetting to say hello to everybody. Hello to everybody. Color-tastic, hi, how are you? Ooh, I like your name, because I love color. Color-tastic art. That's cool. I wish I'd thought of it. But I was doing pop art at the time. Okay, that's good. Now, that's it. Now I'm going to paint. Now we can test the paints. Okay? What size was that? 8, huh? 0.8, I gather. So, how's everybody doing? Good, doing well. I'm glad to hear that. I don't see any other names in there, but hello, if you put I will try and remember to look and see if you have any questions. I am testing out these Marie's tube paints. I got these on Temu. They've got a lot of weird paint brands on Temu, and I'm just the tube ones, I don't know. You know, sometimes I'll test out some of the tube ones. One of the reasons why I bought this is because it said Marie's. Now, and this got the cow on it. This is a pretty well-known, good brand. Particularly, I hear a lot of people saying, you know, student level, academy level. I'm not hearing that it is up there with Windsor or Daniel Smith, or keep wanting to call him Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, Daniel Smith and Company. I'm old and I remember a TV show called Smith and Jones. And every time I hear your last name, oh, and I was trying to remember telling people about your paints one time, and guess who forgot your last name? Daniel, you know. Right, Smith. How can you forget the last name of Smith? All right? Well, let me tell you, you lived for 74 years. And the universe comes and says, you don't need any memory anymore. We don't need no stinking memory. Here, let me take every word you ever remembered. You won't be able to talk. All right, now, I want to balance him. Oh, I don't want this. I want my... Actually, this is a little big, but I can't find my 5. And this is also big. About the same thing. Technically, this is 1,000 years old. Old standby. This is too big, really. I can do it, but... You know. Plus, the bigger the brush, the more pigment I'm going to have in there, which means less stopping. I'm going to have too much pigment. I'm telling you, you cannot complain about the amount of pigment in these paints, even though I said there's a lot of binder. I'm not saying anything. I mean, look at this. I don't want all that pigment. I hate to waste it, but I don't have any choice. I want this a little bit watered down here. Okay, I may have to. The one thing I like about the black border is that I don't have to be so precise, because I'm not as precise as I used to be. My hands don't have the control they used to have. There's a lot of things that I won't attempt to do artistically because of that. I have tremors, mild, okay? And all that stuff comes into play when you are painting and drawing, etc. And so you learn to get out of my way. Thank you. I'm doing this because I have a nasty habit of dragging my stupid arm over things. Now, I'm going to try this color combination because I fell in love with it when I was testing something out here. And I love that. Opposites, basically, but not quite. Ooh. Did I cut myself? There. I use X-Acto blades a lot. That wouldn't surprise me a bit. I'm going to use, let's see, yeah, let's get this one. When you're in these lighter colors, this is nice. When you got some water on them, you can actually see the colors in these, which I think is interesting. You can't always do that. I'm finding that kind of interesting here, and I don't know why it's happening. But if this is like, from what I understand, and I'm not that familiar with them, but from what I understand, Chinese paints are slightly different than, Chinese watercolors are slightly different than normal watercolors. I have heard that they are, actually I heard a couple people say that they're sort of gouache and watercolor. That's possible. They're in a way they're perfect for this kind of work. Okay, they do. Let's see if I can do that. Let's do. You know what? Just put it in there and quit ditzing around. I'm going to blend this yellow into a yellow ochre. Let's do that. Look at this. See how much pigment I'm pulling out of this? That's a lot of doggone pigment. Okay. Now, I have to look at this because these two are very close. But this is the one I want. Now I'm going to start it down here past the border. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it up. And I'm going to get some of that pigment out of there. Okay. I'm just going to do this. It's a very small area. I don't have a lot of room to go back and forth, so I'm just going to do this little trick that I like to do. Okay. Just kind of bring it down and up, and then back up. All right. A little bit more up in here. Okay. And then I'm going to let it take care of the rest of it by itself. And see what it does. I'm going to suck a little bit of this out. It's got a little blob down there. If you're not careful and you've got excess liquid, whether it's paint or water, now this is paint, so it's not as likely to cause that. But if I dropped water in there, or if that was water, it could backwash or do. And okay, backwash means water will push away the pigment. If you drop fresh water on there, it will push it away. It will do it when it's dry. If these are pigment-based and not dye-based ones, they will lift too. I mean, they'll do that as well, but not as much as pigment-based ones. Okay, so we get that little color in there, but that's not, they blend nice. They lay flat. I don't think that's going to surprise me. I've gone through this painting and another painting over here, and they have done nothing to surprise me whatsoever. Now, I want Junior here. And I'm going to mix him on the painting. Now, I could mix him. Or over here, you know, this is, by the way, I have a ceramic palette over here. I can move everything over a little bit so you can see it. I don't think I'll be using that with this. But I love this color. And I'm going to, I don't want him to have a mane. A big move. Yeah, let me think. I could do this. I could do this. I could do that. I could do anything I want. That is kind of what I'm going to do. Oh my God, again. I'm telling you. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's my clean water. Oopsies. Well, this is what it's been doing to me. I'm just not expecting it to come out. I will tell you, it's got a heck of a coverage. It is not, this is not transparent. These are, I mean, they're not naturally transparent, okay? Even this, there's a good amount of water in there. There's still some heavy-duty coverage on that. Let me try to, I do want to use this a lot on here. Okay, I'm going to bring him in here and keep him lighter and lighter and lighter. I'm going to put some water in and meet it. Okay, get past these narrow little areas here. And I'm just going to take a little, just a little of the paint. And look, I mean, look. I have to say I'm very impressed with the coverage and the amount of pigment in these. They're not going to do anything fancy. There's not a granulator in the bunch. Nothing. It is not going to happen. One of my favorite things in the world is have granulating paints and have them do their little thing. And these guys just, it's just, nah. I'm going to grab a little bit of this lemon and bring some lemon yellow into this too. Now this should be there. I want to, and that pops that up quite nicely, doesn't it? I'm going to do a little more. Oops, got the wrong one. I want this one. I'm going to make that heavy duty lemon. It's not going to be lemon, it's going to, you know, because of the green, but there. Now this can use a backwash because that's still wet and this is coming in even wetter, but I don't see it doing it. That's actually, for certain things, that's an advantage. I like them, like I said, but now I want this kind of orangey color right here. That is this guy right there. Now he looks, what kills me about these, and I'm going to see if it happens again. See these three colors? They might as well be one color. And right across here, or these two, are so close. Literally, I didn't need this one. I could have had this one and added one of those to it, or even some of that to it. Or I could have had this one and added some of, where is it? Well, that's not actually a warm red. Maybe this one here. But I definitely could have added some of that, or some of the burnt sienna to it. If that is burnt sienna. I don't know, it didn't have names. Well, maybe it did. But I don't read Chinese, so I don't know if it did. Anyway, I don't know if there was names for these. I did have a dark green, but I don't want to give it the thing. I think I'm going to have to do this in the yellows and the oranges. And do it. Let me try this down here. Because I don't want a red in this. I want an orange. Alright, that's going to need some yellow. let's use the yellow. Let's actually use the yellow and get some real color change and difference in there. And put in some. I am still trying to get used to this. This is literally almost opaque. All right, I'm going to try something right here. This is watered down. Now, I'll let that dry. I'll touch it with the black later. I want to see how much that covers the black, but I want you to see the white. I hit that once with white. And it's pretty much covered the black. Not completely, but one more stroke. Yeah. Yeah. So these, I think, I'd be honest with you, these could definitely have a use. I'm sorry, but I am gonna do this again. I'm gonna start with the yellow this time. I'm gonna go down in here and I'm gonna get some serious paint. Now, normally, right now I'm wondering if I have too much paint on my brush. I mean, I really want some yellow to start in here. Okay? I said I wanted this yellow-green to kind of like take over this, and I do. But I don't want it to be solid. I want it to... And I'm going to play with it a little bit. Do you want to get some water in here, though? Because that keeps it... When I do this and I'm working around areas, and I have to deal with things drying so quickly, I stop when I'm working, like right now. I add some more paint coming down. Get some more in there. Get some more in there. Get some more. Get some more. Okay. Then, oh, no, that's all right. Now I'm going to add some water here. And I'm going to come in with the green. Okay? And meet it. Keep this wet. Keep this wet. All right? This is how I do a hard, kind of a hard blend. And let the paint do a little bit of the work for me. I put it in position and let it do what it's going to do. Now, certain paints, I could be in trouble with that. Uh-oh. Wonder who's calling. You're going to have to wait a second. Alright, got it. At least this is... You guys excuse me for a minute? Hello, this is Terry.
Hi, Terry. This is Emily from Dr. Santini's office.
Hello.
Hello. I have check-in time for tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right, so you are lucky number one at 5:30 a.m. check-in.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's because you're going to be inpatient and admitted, so they like to get those ones started.
That's okay.
Yeah, so 5:30.
That means I'll be out by 9, and I'll have all day to paint while you keep an eye on me.
Yeah. As a reminder, no food or water after midnight tonight.
Right. I got it all. I want to check one thing. Hold on. I'm doing a live. So you guys just ignore all this. Okay. You guys told me not to take the hypochlorothiazide and the lisinopril. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. But that was my doctor in my hospital calling me with my operation time. I gotta check in 5:30 in the morning. But that means I'm first, so he's gonna be fresh. So that's good. I guess. I did say, hey, I want to be first so you're fresh. So he probably thought, good, I'll make that witch get up early. fix you. I have no idea what here he is. Okay. Trying to find my brush. Alright, yeah, I am going to have to touch up the black, believe it. I got the hiccups, I'm so sorry. Or not. Now, I've got this great olive in here. The thing is, oh my God, I am going to mix him. I'm sorry, I've got the hiccups. Honestly. Because I want just a little, that this isn't neat color. I don't want too much of it, but I want it to tone this up. Well, I could have used a tad more, I guess. Let me get my glasses off. I can't really see here. Whoops, I didn't want to mix that in there, but there. Yeah. All right, now. I want to, where do I want to put this? I don't know what I'm going to do with these guys here. And then I've got this little guy here. Then I have that great forest green that I'm going to like. I'm going to put this here. It's kind of a background area, so this is a more subtle color. It's a subdued color, so that will help put it in the background. By color and hue, by hue is color. By color and tone, not tone. What am I trying to say? Chroma, not chroma. Chroma is how much saturation, how much color there is. This got some serious chroma. What am I trying to say? My brain just went dead. I had that talk with the hospital, and that's all I was thinking about. Ooh, I like that color. Isn't it funny how you can like this ugly? This is an ugly color, all right? It is an ugly color, but it is a great color with these guys. The nice thing about bringing that ochre in is it brought this color into it as well as that color, which is nice. Now that came down here. Notice I got some, but if I remember right, these colors lift pretty nicely. Yeah, look at it. That's another way you can correct things, is lifting. Most artists will actually do a tutorial and say, here's a tutorial about how to get rid of stuff you don't want on your painting. I mean, you can lift it, you can erase it, because this is what this is. Where'd he go? Where did he go? Here he is. This is a watercolor eraser. This melamine sponge is a watercolor eraser. That's what he is. I don't care what else he does. That's what he does for me. Actually, these things are great. This will get stuff off of anything. I love these. Especially when I found out. There, that lifts it a little bit. Puts a little water in there, but it's not going to kill anything. Look at that. I want you to notice that orange, you know, transparent. It shouldn't have covered that, but it did. I shouldn't have even done that. So these are not truly transparent, but in this case it's not a big deal. I did get a hard edge here. The little buggers came back and did it, but guess what? Because of this paint and what it does. So these are kind of perfect for this kind of work. So I may be buying another set or two of these before I lose my access to them. They're, I can't remember what I paid for them. I couldn't have been more than $15 for a set of 30. But they were teeny little tubes, okay? I think they're the tiniest tubes I think you can buy. You get them any tinier, you can squeeze them. You couldn't get the paint out. Although I saw one little miniature tube of watercolor or oil paint or whatever it was, or acrylic. on, God, I have this thing about miniatures. I'm not going to get into that. I could go down a whole rabbit hole. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to bring any more of him, but I do want this Viridian right here. I want that baby. And he's right here. And yes, I am lazy. You know, there's artists out there that say you shouldn't have more. Well, some will say you shouldn't have more than, let's say, 5 colors. 1 yellow, 1 blue, 1 red, and a brown, and something else. You know, sometimes they pick black, although why anybody would pick black? I mean, black can be made with any of these blues and pretty much any of these browns. Maybe not these guys. They'll make you green, but seriously, okay? But I mean, the minimum I would say for a minimal palette, and I can paint just about anything. You're not going to get every color, and don't let anybody tell you you are, because you won't. Is 6, and a couple, so 8, a couple of browns. I don't need greens. You don't need greens. You don't need orange. And you want a special purple, yeah, but you're going to have 2 reds and 2 blues, and between those, you should be able to mix a wide range of purples. Okay. So, what do I want to do with him? I want him to sweep across this whole thing. I do. So, I'm going to mix him. I'm telling you right now, I want some water here. I forgot to unscrew my water and my alcohol. Okay. So, that's enough water. Okay, and now I'm going to get some paint. I may want to, I want some, oh, this guy. Oh, I'm going to use him to tone this. But let me look at this again. No, this is the one I want. That's the one I want. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see how he comes out. So no, I want to take him and sweep him. Well, do I want to put him in the middle, or do I want to graduate? I'm going to put him in the middle. Now, he is not going to have... Oh, shoot. I wanted it fatter. That's okay. I'll tone the other paints and they won't... You know, let me mix a little of this with it. And darken it up a little bit. Because that's not quite the color I thought it was. It's too green. I want it more foresty. And that I'm going to fix right now. Okay. I want a little bit of this. I gotta pull some paint out. There. There we go. A little darker. Now, here, when I finally did want it to be. But I'm gonna lift this. I want some white. The thing I said earlier, yesterday, when I was using this, is that they don't, I use the term, these paints don't sparkle. They don't. And the reason why they don't is you really kind of have to struggle, at least I do, to get the white of the paper, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay? I'm not getting a lot of white of the paper shining through. I am right here. And I am right here. And I'm going to get a little bit more. I have to lift. Well, that's it. He's in there. I can't lift anymore now. Now, I'm going to take this, just a tiny touch of it. Well, I guess I need a tiny touch more. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Would you please? I didn't mean to do that, but it is what it is. Now, I mixed that in there. Come here. There, I wanted that dark blue. I want that dark blue. There, that's too much. That's too much. Okay. And I want I want to make it a little green, but I want that the darkness of that blue. Now, here we go. Okay, this is going to be dry, and that means I'm going to have a problem. So I'm going to have to put it in there, and I'm going to have to meet it. Okay? Just like that. Now, I may still have a problem with this back flowing on me. We'll see. I'll watch it as it dries, and I'll mess with it. But I wanted that darker. I kind of would like it to actually do a little mottling, not mottling, and get me some texture in there. Okay? The one thing I like about granulating paints is that they create texture for you. There's nothing, I mean, look, none of these have created any texture really whatsoever. Not much. I mean, there's a little here, because there's a little bit of backwash, and that's it. But this, we're nowhere near done. I mean, the fact of the matter is that, let's see, was that this paint here? This is an interesting color. Right here. I think that's what that was. And I'm going to, let me do it here. And maybe I didn't want to do it there. Okay. I like it. It's kind of a, it's got kind of a rusty, warm tint to it that I like. There. I need to start pulling in more water. This stuff really needs water. There. See that? See that right there? A little bit of backwash. I call backwash cauliflower. You know, some people call it blooming. All right, you know what? Let me show you. If you take water or a very, another color with a lot of water in it. Now watch. Now that water is going to start pushing this paint out. Okay? And you're going to see the white coming up. I didn't want that here, but I wanted you to see that. And this is not a very dramatic representation of it either. All right? I don't know if you can see it. But here it is. This is interesting. Washing back down here. Look at that. You know what? I'm going to do that. Oops. I'm going to do it down the whole thing. I'm going to let the whole thing backwash and do this. I'm going to get me some texture if I have to backwash the whole thing. Now look how much color is coming up here. All right, that's interesting. Look how much is coming up here when I couldn't get it to lift here. Now it is. It just needed to be dried and then think that I didn't want it to happen. See, watercolor is very stubborn. It's like, oh, you want me to be smooth? I'll fix you. Oh yeah, I'm not kidding you. It's like the mean girl of art supplies. I'm not kidding. I mean that with every ounce of my being. But then, I know how to handle mean girls. I've had to deal with them witches all my life. That's, ooh, looky. Now we got it. Okay. I'm going to start screwing with this paint. Okay, watch this. Ooh, here, get some alcohol. It's a little tiny dot of alcohol. Just a little. I actually have a brush, but God knows where I put it. And if I can find it, that's the one here it is. Here it is. I marked it. Okay, let me do it this way. Let me just double check. I put alcohol in this water brush. These open, by the way. This is not lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. This is the exact opposite. Yep, that's alcohol. Yeah. I kind of wish I'd put the 92% in. I only put the 70, and I wonder, I haven't tried this, and I should try that. Okay, now wait a minute. You want to see something? Don't want quite that much. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Just out of curiosity, let's see if it does it. Sometimes it will, but I haven't had great luck with the stuff I've been testing. Nah, it's not going to do it. Should do it here because this is still wet. Yep. Now, we'll get a little time to dry, but I have found it doesn't work as effectively once it's dry. But you get it at the right point when it's still wet. Watch, see how it pushes? Isn't that fun? Should have tried that before. Now, I have this. I also had this bottle of alcohol here, but, well, this is water, but that's okay. I have another one with alcohol. But the stopper is kind of big on that. If I want to really find one, I'll grab my pipette, wherever it is. And I'll go into the bottle, too. I can't find my pipette. Oh, yeah. Yes, medical equipment, pipettes, and scalpels. Okay. I actually have. Where'd I put him? I put him away. Oh, I can't. I might forget it. I have to put him over with my stuff. When I came home after they found out, here's the deal. We've known I've had this aneurysm for a while, right? But you got to wait, for women, you got to wait until it's like 5 millimeters or centimeters. Anyway, so big. And it finally got there in this last scan. But I, of course, was joking and said, well, you know, what I'd like to find out is that you guys tell me that after you read this scan, the aneurysm has disappeared. It's gone. It's a miracle. So, as usual in my life, I got the exact opposite. And the little the little brat had 3 babies. 3 more little aneurysms right behind it. So I went in with 1 and came out with 4. I'm a grandmother. So I did a painting. And I'm not a painting. I was doing this little fun abstract. And I had this... I was putting some little dots and stuff on, you know. I get into these because I get down into the little tiny itty-bitty details. And then there's this little bump. And I looked at it, and it's kind of blood-colored, and I went, there's my aneurysm. So I kind of highlighted it a little bit anyway. And so I had to add 1, 2, 3 more. Okay? Because, oh no, it wasn't close to her. She had them, dropped them off, and took off. So I'm going to have another half an hour in that operating room because this snot won't stay close to her babies. Anyway, so I'm going to get this to the doctor. I gotta find a frame. I have framed around here somewhere. The only problem is I think I've only got some 5x5s left. I don't have anything big enough for that, and that's an odd shape. So he may get it in an envelope instead. And, you know, these have a little shine to them right down there. If you get that paint in, like, really thick, and I don't want to get this green out of here. Get that water out, and it'll take it. There we go. Yeah, like down here. Look how shiny that is. Okay, I'm really beginning to like this, but I need to tone these colors. I've got that. You know what? I'm going to try this color here. But where I'm going to put him, I don't know. I need to balance this over here with him. I could do this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let me just... And I may just put this in like full blast here. This isn't in the little sketch, but it's perfectly good to match with these. Oh, wrong one. Whoops, 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 whoops. There he is. Well, that's interesting, but I don't... Hey, wait a minute. I forgot to put the green here. Oh, you idiot. That's okay. No big deal. Whoa. Here. I need a little water. This is a little too thick. I mean, honestly, this is just like... Right now, this is like working with gouache. That made a big mess across there. And I will lift that up. I'm going to lift it up a little bit anyway. There. That's out of there enough to... Another thing, this paper inside these little books, they, you know, they're nice enough, but they never have really... I mean, it's not great paper. So you can't... I wouldn't attempt a glazing technique on this to save my life. But then again, when I glaze, I'm talking, you know, 10, 12 coats. Literally my go-to watercolor paper was the Arches 300-pound cold press. I never worked on anything else. I do not like hot press. Well, I take that back. Hot press is actually nice for calligraphy. Okay? It's smooth enough. I mean, I have done calligraphy with watercolor. And the hot press is cool. You know, it's a cool color. I mean, a cool... that's not what I'm saying. Smooth. God. I'm trying to paint. I'm not paying attention to what I'm saying. All right. Here we go. I like this color. I like all colors. Isn't that funny? I mean, let me put it this way. They all have a purpose. There's a couple colors I cannot abide. I can't. If you bring me a shirt in them or a cup or, I don't care, anything in that one color, if it's not blended with other colors, I actually got a jacket one time from a relative. God, it was the most hideous thing I've ever seen. I don't think that they thought I had good taste for some reason. Actually, I have very good taste. But they are so conservative. This is the beige and pearl Connecticut type. I'm not. I mean, obviously, right? I like color. I wear color. But, you know, I don't dress like a clown. So here comes this jacket. And it is my most unfavorite color, which is grass green. I absolutely hate that color. And it was, oh God, it was intentionally pleather. Okay? And I don't know how to describe that, but it was meant to look like pleather. It was never, there was no way this was ever going to look like even good vinyl or, you know. It is this, I mean, honestly, it could have been paper and had plastic bags, like, ironed onto it. It was that crunchy and tacky, and it, you know, I will say, I'm going to tell you, this was obviously a very pricey jacket. Probably very, very hip, according to somebody. Something I would never put on my body in a million years. Okay? I don't think I think it went directly to Goodwill or something. I've never seen it since. God, it was hideous. You know, I mean, it could have been funky. I mean, maybe nowadays, maybe dressed the right way, it could have been okay. Back in, I think that was the 80s, people, no, you weren't going to get away with it then. That's just not, it wasn't going to happen. Well, I'm not, this is one place where I could have used it, and it's not here. Shoot. All right. I want, you know, I'm going to use just a little of this brown. And I'm going to mix that in there. And there. Close enough. Yeah. Get in there. Get in there. Then I'll take some of you off. Okay. Here. I'm going to let that hang by itself for a while. I like the way this is. Yeah, I like that color. So what I need is a little bit of this color to balance it, which I think would be nice maybe there. Maybe. Is that too, might not show there. It's a nice balance for over here though. Now I don't want to, here's the thing. Yes, I'm going to do, this isn't going to be these flat colors. When this is dry, maybe later on today, I'm just trying to keep myself calm and cool and relaxed to keep my blood pressure under order and have a very mellow day because, you know, I'm a little stressed over the surgery. I've only ever had one other surgery in my entire freaking life. And that was over 60 years ago. I was like 9 or 10 and I had my tonsils out. And in those days, you know, they used ether. And I'm trying to get this red out of here. There. I don't want that. That's what I didn't want it to do, was bleed into this. That's okay. Just a tiny touch. We'll just put a little tiny touch and stop it dead in the water. I'll have to touch it up a little bit with the black, but that's okay. But evidently, according to my sister, and she could have been BSing me, I almost died because of the anesthesia. Although, yeah, that stuff was dangerous. All get out. Okay? Ah, darn it. I did not want that to happen. It doesn't seem to have done much, but it will continue to do something. So now I have to... That's just... I don't think it's going to do much, but just in case, I'll just put some texture in here. Okay. If it doesn't work, then no big deal. If it works a little bit, again, no big deal. But see, with this one, oh, he is still wet. Okay? But what'll happen is, I'm not putting it in that one, is that I can go back in here, and once they soak in, I can lift a little color and have a little polka dot. See? It's not perfect, but it creates a little texture. Okay? And it's fun. It's a little fuzzy. But when I come back in with, I'll come back in with paint pens and colored pencils, and that's why I call these mixed media, because it's not just 100% watercolor. Well, first of all, you use the pen, it's not. I mean, you know, if you want to be, they need to sit there a little longer. But you can actually, it's subtle, but you can see it. You know, see? It's very subtle. And I like it. These need to sit there a little longer because they are not. We need to have one over here. But I gotta suck that up before it dries. Okay? I'm even getting a little bit more out of it right now. Look at all the fun things you can do with watercolors. Okay? And the best thing to do is, you know, if you really want to learn, get online and watch other watercolorists. You know? Watch what they do. And, you know, most of them, if they're on YouTube, they're telling you, here's how to do it. It's part of what they do, teach. And I do as well. I'm not getting as much out of this, and that's interesting. I'm going to put the water back on again. Because they're not reacting as... Oh, I know why. It's just not showing up as much, because this is lighter. This had the yellow in it. So there's not as much differentiation between the color and the, not pure white. It's, you're never going to get, I mean, because these do have a little dye in them. Okay, some of these, and I'm assuming this yellow definitely does, because he's not giving way too easily. He's not giving way at all, which I find interesting. The green did enough. See, and the green still is. But that yellow, no. He's got a grip on that paper. It's okay. I had to clean my glasses off. Now, we have a couple little areas to fill in here, and then we're ready to go and put in some, what do they call? Accents with the other things. See? You see here. Little dots, little stripes, little things. It's very graphic little pieces, which I think carries it out of the fine art. Okay? We could go into fine art with this. I think this kind of moved it outside that area. I like graphics. I like graphical stuff. And, you know, that the art community is getting much more accepting. You know, when Norman Rockwell, when he was an illustrator for the Post and all those magazines, you know, illustrators, graphic designers, they were not, they were looked down on because they were commercial artists, okay? That's what they used to call artists that actually worked for a living. I hate to tell you, folks. I'd love to have told them back then, and they, of course, never considered it. But I have news for you. Every damn one of the big guys was Michelangelo, Da Vinci, all right? Rembrandt. Folks, they got paid by somebody. You know who they got paid by? Well, the oligarchs, okay, the very rich families, okay, or the church. The church hired them to paint. That's just what mostly they did, all right? Don't tell me these guys weren't working for a living. Of course they were, right? But they called the church and the rich people, you know, oh, crap. Patrons of the arts. So, you know, it wasn't so filthy, you know, it wasn't so crass as getting paid a salary. You were under the auspices of the church and the rich folk, you know, that made you special. You know, you were a working slob, guys, just like the rest of us. And because your work is on the Sistine Chapel, up there like a gigantic billboard. Okay? I mean, don't tell me that those walls and that ceiling is not a freaking billboard. It's the same thing. Yeah, I know. I mean, I am not at all comparing that work with a billboard. Oh, of course not, but let's get real here. Those guys had to eat too. If there weren't patrons of the arts, there would have been no arts. Because you can't art without money. You know, especially, even though they made their own paints. I got news for you. Canvases still cost money. Canvas, if you stretch it yourself, you had to buy the wood, you had to buy the canvas, you had to buy the damn nails to put them together. Okay? You know, I don't care. Art supplies are not cheap, baby. Now, I got that forest green in there. And I think I have more reds. You know what? I got this burnt sienna. Now, I don't want it pure. I'm going to mix this. I don't want to mix it in there. I don't want it contaminated with that. But I'm going to mix this. Let me get my alcohol pen out of here. You might want to watch me, all right? I want that burnt sienna here. And I'm going to get all that pigment out because I'm going to want to add some water anyway. And now which of these do I? No, I don't really. I'm thinking, could I? I don't really want to do that. These are not the same paints, and I don't think. See, I want this color, but I don't have that color. What kills me is that, you know, even in the blues, but they've got so many blues and greens that they've got a good selection. But this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. This should not be this cool. There's too much blue in this, or purple, or whatever, all right? But that's as close as I'm going to get, is that color. I can't see how that ended up being that, with that purple hue. I just can't. I'm wondering if I somehow messed up and dipped my pen in the wrong little hole. And do not go there. Let it go. Okay, I know you people. And hello to, I see a Karen. Hello, Karen. Welcome. If you have any questions, and you know, you may have, and I have not seen the questions because I'm so bad. I need a helper. I need somebody to read and talk to the community and tell them tell me what's being said. Now, I'm going to try this right in here. Ooh, that might be exactly what I wanted. Let me thin it out. I have to see it without so much pigment in it. Okay, lift it up. Oh, shoot. Lift it. Yep. That's it. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Ooh, I like that color. Look at that. I gotta get it out. I want more water in here. I don't want it to be that big gouache. Oh, look at that color. Isn't that rich? Ooh, looks like, oh, I know what it reminds me of. Chipotle. Chalupa's Chipotle sauce. I love that stuff. I can't get it. Last 2 times I've gone to the stores, out of the stores. I'm just going to add just a little here. A little bit darker. Let it bleed in there. Because I definitely want to change between... Oh, I love that color. It wasn't on the shelves. And I have to have that. Okay, now where... I'm going to put him... right here. I'm going to do all these little guys in that color. Okay, let me thin him out just a little. Okay. Doesn't he look like hot sauce to you? Is there enough difference between him and the red? Is it dark enough? Maybe I need to darken it a little bit. Maybe I'll put a little extra brown in there, and I'll pop that up a little bit. Let me try. Let me see what it does. Here. Uh-oh. It's too dry. It's going to come back and bite me. It's okay here. Maybe here, too. He's going to come back and bite me. I'm going to have to go over this whole thing again. It did darken it enough to give it a good definition between those there, and still keep it transparent. Yeah, I definitely wanted to change between that and that. Another way to do it would have been to go in here, get this all wet, and lift some of that color. You want to see? Just for the heck of it. Let's get it all wet. Just real quick. Give it a couple seconds to soak in. We're going to find out. Well, now, see, now it's showing. Right here, it's beginning to show the coolness here. See, it's not quite the color I wanted it to be. And I can fix that with just a little bit of orange. It's gonna, what it'll do, because there's blue in here, I'm telling you, somewhere buried in here is some blue, okay? It's making it cool, okay? Or purple, but that's how you get purple. It's red and blue. Let me see. Yeah, that warmed it up. It's still blue. Let's try this. I'm just playing, guys, here. It's, you know, these aren't critical. This is this thing that, you know, and I catch myself doing it too. I was working on, this is a little, what, 4x6 or whatever size this is, okay? Well, tape, cheap paper, not expensive paint. What have I got into this? Couple hours, right? And I'm playing, okay? I'm not getting paid anymore. I'm retired, so I can do what I want. I can spend 500 hours on this if I want. Okay? But I lost complete track of what my point was. Yeah, that made it nice. Now, that warmed it up. Okay? I rather like that now. And there's more difference between it and those, because I pulled some of the pigment off. Should I do it there or leave it alone? I'm going to look at it through your eyes on my screen. Okay. Hello, Karen. Welcome. Just got the... Oh, you got the #1 gifter badge. Yay. I don't know what that means, but that's... I think that's a good thing. It says gifter and it says badge, so they don't give you badges for... You don't need no stinking badges. No, we need stinking badges. We need gifter badges. What was that movie? I loved it. Was that that wasn't Magnificent Seven. But Eli Wallach was in that movie, whichever it was. We don't need no... Oh, wait a minute. Was it? Okay. Wait. Was that, oh, what's his name? The comedy. Oh, my brain is completely dead now. I can't think. I'm thinking Marty Feldman, curly hair, played Willy Wonka. Ow! Ugh. Anybody? Who am I thinking of? Okay. I'm leaving this white in case you weren't aware. I just need this color here. What is that? What is that? What is that? I have no idea what I did here. This, oh, it's part of that. Okay. And the reason why I don't know what I did there is because I had that orange in there that I have yet to cover up. So I'll just, this is the only, I rarely use black paint. Honest to God, I don't. Sometimes I will use it when I'm creating a color just to get the dark out of it. I don't know how to say it any other way. Sometimes, like I use this dark brown, I wanted this darker, and I didn't want it affecting my color, so I wanted a dark that was more toned into, you know, the oranges over here, right? I wouldn't have used dark blue. That would have actually made it cooler and turned it into a gray. I didn't want that. Color mixing is kind of interesting. I have, okay, I've got an area here that is going to stop because these are dead in the water. I need that color. I've already got a forest green in there. What else could I use in there that would be nice? You know, I think I'd like another kind of olive color. I've got that one. He's a little dark. I don't want him. What if I mixed? Well, you could use a little bit of water, couldn't you? But if I mixed you and you together, let me get a little paint here. I mean water. What if I mix those two together? Let me look at that. Let me look at that. Let me see what happens. Oh, I've got this in here too. Shoot. Let me see what this does. Where'd I go? Okay. Is he too close? No, he's not. He's not too... He's pretty... Ooh, just at that. He's pretty good there. Okay. He's sort of this color lightened down with this color mixed in. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Where'd I go? Ah, here he is. Okay, I'm going to fill that in. And fill this in. Yeah, literally, I could, if you gave me, I think this is a 7. It's fine. Actually, I kind of like these brushes. These are a little bit longer. That means they've got more area up here to hold pigment, to hold paint. So, because I'm used to my brushes, like my 7s being maybe an 1/8 of an inch shorter than that. Okay. I have been known to work with an 8 and nothing else through an entire painting. I just don't bother to pick up another brush. I mean, I could. And I'm talking about a full sheet of watercolor. You know, not a, 8 by 10, not a 16 by 20. I'm talking about a full watercolor sheet. Yeah, that's what I like. Now the thing is, I have a chunk of something here I've got to take care of, and here. And I stopped this dead here, and I shouldn't have, because this is not 4, this is 3. I don't know how it... wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, I wish. Wouldn't it be great if... I'm going to cut this into just a little bit. My old gardening scissors. I did I can't talk. Hydroponics. I was growing my own tomatoes. I gotta get this out of here, it's dirty. Peppers. Oh, I had great peppers. And I don't eat a lot of peppers because they make my mouth blister, but when I found a pepper I could eat, I took the seeds out of it and planted it. Alright, I'm going to get him out of there. I don't know if I can do it with ink. Okay, I know I can do it with watercolor. Nah, this is not lifting him at all. Nope. He's not moving. He is not moving. Okay, that didn't work for him. I'm beginning to see things in this. I've got one little thing here, two little things here. I'm going to have to figure out what to do there. I may have to. I don't like to do it. I don't want to do that. I kind of wish I hadn't stopped those there. I don't know why I did that. I think that was part of one of my first lines. I want... You know, I don't have a pure yellow in here. I'm going to put pure yellow right here. I need that. Okay? I don't need... Whoops. I don't need quite that much paint. Oh, I'm so glad to have my towel back to wipe my stuff on it and still have white mostly around me. I like to have the white around my working area because it doesn't disturb me. And I don't think I've got this orange. This is just plain old. Actually, oh, it wasn't this. It was another one. And because I just got a set of, give me a second, Artistro's paints. Now, yes, I've seen Artistro. I take it back. I have not ever bought their paints. I have their paint pens, their acrylic paint pens, which, by the way, I think are some of the best of the old style. The ones that you have to pump, you know, you got to prep them. You got to shake and pump them. You know, they're not brush types. They're pointer thingies. Points. There. I got a lift. There's too much paint here, and he just looks bad. That's better. Now I am going to have to touch up all the black, because this paint is... I haven't had so much of a problem with it before, honestly. Okay? But these are touched up a little bit, but not quite so much. These just weren't as opaque, even though I used them with, you know, quite a bit of pigment in them. This one has a lot more negative space on it. I like this. Okay, now I'm looking. I see a fish. See, that everybody does it. Oh. I'm going to use this brown. All right. No. See, I keep forgetting. I don't need that much pigment. Look at, oh, that's exactly what I wanted in there. Look at him. Oh. And, you know what? I'm going to bring him in here. And here. And maybe I can do that. Okay? Maybe. Alright, now I have to lift this a little bit. Alright, and I can hide that mark under there and give it some balance over here. And then I'm going to put it right here, too. Okay. That was a good choice. That was a good choice. I'll let that dry just a little bit, and I'm going to sneak a little bit more in there. Okay, this part is done. Now we need the little dots and all those good little things. Blair Marie. Hello, Blair Marie. Welcome. If you have any questions, please type them in. If I see them, I'll be happy to answer them. If I don't see them until after the live, I have been trying to find, but I guess nobody's left any. But I've gone back to my lives to look if there's any comments to see if people have asked questions, and nobody ever talks to me. Sorry. That sounded so whiny. Poor me. Oh, God. That cracked me up. Actually, I know people who live with that attitude. Can you imagine? God, don't you want to slap them? Oh, drama queens. Oh, my God. Poor me. My life is so miserable. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. They don't have my special creamer for my coffee, and I have no ice. I can't have iced tea without ice. You know, lady, there are worse things in life. Good God Almighty. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm going to mix that beautiful kind of rusty orange that I made with a little bit of this brown. Make it a little bit darker. And I'm going to come in and just add it right there. Okay? And okay, how's that look? Not bad. Not bad. This is what I love about, you know, when you start overlaying and going after certain colors. I have every color. I got 30 colors here. I could have more. I've got more palettes with more colors. But I have to, you know, I'm not lazy. I know how to mix colors. All right? When I need something exact, I mix it. But these aren't exact, okay? I don't need to mix these. Actually, to tell you the God's honest truth, I was so tempted to come in and put some purple in one of these. Preferably this one. Look, I mean, these are just the same freaking color. All right, where's a, you know, give me this. All right, here we go. This, by the way, is very cheap watercolor. It's not watercolor paper. It's regular paper that's been pressed to look like watercolor paper. Now, there's this one. That's that one. Here's this one. Okay. Look at them. Just literally how close they are. Yes, that is pinker. When you get the water in it, there's a little bit more. That's why I tried to get the little centers. I go back in and I pull the paint out and put a little water in so I can see that mixed with water. Okay, it's important or you won't see the full range of... See, these should have been reversed. Oh, no, no, no. I was right. I put my paints in like this, then that, then this, then that. I don't know why, but I do, okay? See? And then they start up here. See, if I line these up down here, that was the last one, so he that way, then this way, then that way, then honest, and then this. See? Okay, never mind. That's just me. This is the one that should... No, this is right. This is the one. Now, so this is the one that honestly... I might leave this one alone. I might actually think, okay, is there enough difference between these two? No, this is the one. Let me look at that. And then I put some white in and look at that. And then let's put some white and look at that and see what it does with a backwash on it. And let's see what those colors do in a bigger area. They're still awfully doggone close. I'm sorry, you know. This one could have been, you know, a little browner maybe, like how I mixed over here, but its purple is definitely a cool color. I had a hard time placing them too. I think this one doesn't have as much character as that one does. So this one here is the one. You know, that should... Now, should I get this grapey color with it? Probably. And then, now we're talking a color difference there. See that? Okay? Now let me take the grape so that I can see this and know which one I mixed it with. Okay. That's the grape. It's mostly grape. Now I'm going to take some of that. And mix it with this darker purple. See that? Now, let's take a look at that. I didn't have enough pigment in there. Oh, shoot. A little drop of water come down. There we go. What are you doing to me? You're the only one that's ever done that. Okay. And there's definitely a difference between these two. I think I might go with dark purple on this. It gives me way more of a color difference. Okay, let's look at that some more. Yeah. See? Yes, I know I could. I could get a job mixing new paints. I don't want to do that. I want to paint. I'm done. I am done. I'm happy. I'm going to touch up the black, and I'm going to start in on the little doobie boppers. In the meantime, I'm going to clean that palette up. Why did 500 of these have to come out? I get these little hand wipes. There's no oil or grease, and I can clean my hands off with them, and it doesn't dry my hands out terrible. They've got aloe in them. Real aloe, okay? Aloe gel. And aloe gel is not going to mar. It's a natural thing, so it's not going to damage the paints, the paper, or any of that thing. As far as I know, it shouldn't. But my hands get too dry. I have to do something. Okay, she's all clean. And I love them for these little palettes to clean them out like that. It's just great. Now, these guys still have to dry. But I'll be gone for 2 days. They'll be dry by the time I come back. I'm worried about my kitty, leaving him here. He's done it before. I was in the hospital once before, and I was overnight. So he should be okay. And he was very happy to see me when I got home. He loved on me. I thought he was going to be a typical cat, and just like, you know, how dare you leave me alone? I shall not speak to you for 10 years. You may feed me, and you may take me to the groomer and do all the things for me, but you shall receive no love from me for 10 years until I've gotten over this, which means until I die. Well, I'm sorry, but they do, and I hate it. You know. Boy, I hate to throw those colors away. I really liked them. All right. I'm not going to take the tape off yet. I'm going to touch up the black. Let me get my... actually, I'm going to touch it up with this. I'm not even going to try and go in with those. But these have to get moved out of the way. They've got to come over here so they can dry. Okay. There. And that can move. And this can be washed in a minute. In the meantime, I think I did pretty good pulling these colors in. I think I did a pretty good job. Actually, I think I got a little bit more interesting colors in it, which is what I was aiming for. Okay, you can go in the trash now. I was just having fun, and, you know, I like doing new color combinations. All right. He's pretty good there. He could use some touch-up here. Now, this one definitely needs a touch-up. Definitely. Clean the pen off. That's to rub off. Oh, I've got to touch up these circles. Icky. Not my favorite thing to do. Drawing in the first place is hard enough. Touching them up and staying where they were being cut off. I don't know how other people can go on. They go on at night and during the day, and they're on all day, and they never get cut off. And what's its face? TikTok keeps saying, yeah, you can listen to this, TikTok. You need to hear it. Okay? TikTok keeps saying that it is my internet connection. But I've got news for you. I can prove it's not my internet connection because I'm watching right here. And when mine goes off, the next live comes up and I'm seeing it live. It ain't me, babe. It ain't me. It ain't me, babe. It's you. You're cutting me off. That's rude. How rude. Oh, I know where that stupid thing comes from. Family Matters. Was it? No, not Family Matters. What was that one with those two little twin girls? Well, one little girl. The two little twins played her. You know, the ones that got really popular and cute. What was the name of that show? Oh, God, I can't remember. They're in San Francisco. And John Stamos was in it. And Bob Saget. And Candace Cameron, was she in it? Wasn't she in it? She was the oldest daughter, wasn't she? Anyway, I lost my other people, but maybe I got new people who will help me. I'm touching up the lines because the paint went over it. Hello, everybody. Hello, Renee. Renee Lee, hello. Thank you for joining my live. I'm testing out Marie's. This is, well, I'm kind of done now. I was testing out Marie's watercolors. These are the Chinese painting colors, is what I think they're called on the thing, on the box. And since I got cut again, I'll show you. I'm dropping them all over the floor. Lovely. I'll never find them again. This is what I am testing out. Little tubes of this. Yep, how many I dropped? 1, 2, 3, 4. I dropped 4 on the floor. Lovely. Now I'm going to have to go down and find them. I see. Oh my God, I see them all. Excellent. I also see my brush. That's where it went. Yeah. Hey guys, it's hard for me to get things like that. I just have to wait until I get up and I do it, you know. Whoa. You really took some of my... there's kind of a... On watercolors, when you go over them, okay, I don't want to imply that these are chalky, because they are not. But when they're dry, they have a kind of a... You know, the cheaper ones will rub off. See if I can... Alright, you don't see anything there. Almost like pastels would rub off, okay? Chalky. If you were trying to do this, you know, they've got... Because it's pigment in there. Pigment is a, you know, it's little granules of things that they get ground up. I mean, like, a lot of the earth tones are earth. Okay, red oxide. That's like, they dig that stuff out of the ground, okay? All you have to do is go to Sedona, and you can see where a couple of watercolors come from. Okay, a couple of the earth tones. I mean, they don't call them, you know, the red rocks for nothing. And there's other things, iron and stuff like that. I mean, they all have different... Say they grind these up. And then they put them in these binders. And most watercolors use gum arabic as a binder. Not all. These paints, the Chinese paints, I understand, use some unique binders. And I will tell you, I mean, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this thicker. And I'm going to solve this problem. Right here is a little dink. And it is one of these little guys of the stripe. Where it would be, because when I do them and go through an area they're not going to be drawn, I measure where they would have been, right? So that it doesn't disturb the eye. And just that little part would have been hanging out. But it's just so little that he bugs me. So I'm going to fix it, and he's not going to have to peek out of there. If I have to go get the black watercolor with this, I will. You got me? You got me here, you know, painting? I will win in the end. So don't fight me. There. That got rid of that weird little... But anyway, the pens will gather some of that up. You know, on especially the ballpoints, they'll do... Well, I call them felt tips, these material tip ones, whatever they are, whatever material they're using at the time. They will do it as well. All right? But it likes to fight you, and I have to let go sometimes. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I know it, and I constantly have to ride myself. Or I will be here forever. Okay, literally forever, touching up little dings and little... You know, art should not be perfect. You know, who wants something that's perfectly looks like something else? If you want something that's exactly like something else, go shop at Macy's or Walmart or any major department store where they buy stuff that's mass-produced, and go make yourself happy. You aren't going to find that in original artwork, okay? You might find it in a print, and that's why prints are considerably cheaper, because they are not the freaking original. And the reason why art costs so much is it takes a person to do it and have an original. Yes, you can create art in digital, but the art that you created, there is no original. There is no original. If you don't understand that, the original is zeros and ones inside of a box that's plugged into the wall. And a computer is nothing but a tool. Everything is nothing but a tool. All the artists are worried about AI. Why? It is a tool. I've used AI. I kind of think it's fun. All right? But you're not going to get great art from AI unless you're a great artist. I'm not saying I'm a great artist. What I'm saying is you will get out of it what you're able to put into it. If you're not an artist, you aren't getting art. You're getting a conglomeration of other people's art put together in something different. Not necessarily unique either, because it's all based on the prompts that you give the computer. Okay? Or, you know, so, no, it doesn't bother me. Doesn't scare me a bit. I'm not a bit threatened by it. I'm looking forward to it, you know. I have decided that that's what I want for Christmas. I want Chat GPT at about Pierce Brosnan at about 35-40. I'm sorry, Mr. Brosnan, but you know, you gotta know. You gotta know that's part of your feel. You're part of this big dream fantasy. So you lose, Buckwheat. That's what I want. I'll hide him. I won't show him to the rest of the world. I won't embarrass you. That's what I want. Yeah, you could be others too. You know, wouldn't it be fun? I could combine a bunch of, you know. Ooh. Uh-oh. Now we're in trouble. You better not let me design my own robot. My robot brings all the girls to the yard. I'm going a little crazy, you know. Okay. I think, see what I mean? I'm done. Okay, quit it. Leave it alone. Well, I'm not done, actually. I'm done with this part. I'm done with this drawing. Should I leave it on here? Maybe I should, because if I put these other accents on, I don't want them going over. See, this one I put a border on it. Yeah, I left it. Did I? I don't know if I left it on. Oh, I did. I can see it here. All right. We'll leave it on. Now our next step. So I'm going to get all this watercolor stuff out of my way here. I'll put these on top of here so they won't, I'll probably still spill the little bloody things, but okay, this is going to be washed, so this can go over here, and I can get some fresh water. This has water in it, and it will spill. Don't buy these. Do not buy these collapsible rubber cups. Silicone, don't buy them. They're not stable. I've knocked this over, I can't tell you how many times. I bought these for my little mini kits, you know, my mini painting kits. That's what these little guys are all for, okay? My little mini painting kits. I have a different kit with different paint for different purposes. So I'll have a little kit for this. So if I feel like painting that day, they'll pull a little kit out for that. And I'll get okay? And I bought a bunch of, oh, do it. You can buy the collapsible cups. Just not those silicone. They are not stable. Buy these. Okay? Buy these. And then you actually have your 2 cups. Here's your clean water. And here's your dirty water. Because when you're working on these little small guys, that's enough water, definitely. And that'll be enough clean water. So you got your 2 cups. Because I have to have 2 cups. Right? I have to have a clean and a dirty cup. I actually work with 3 cups most of the time. All right? Because then I have a clean, a dirty, and a... Let's start with this cup, and then we'll go to the second cup that's dirty. And then by the time we get to the clean, it'll actually be clean. Cup. All right, so I'm going to leave that on, and I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. Everything is going to be moved. And then I'm going to have to take a little break. I'm going to put a little sign up. Or I may just come back. Because Terry has to take a little break. And Terry wants to get something to eat. And then I'll start on the other part of it. So I think instead of taking up their bandwidth, which probably is what they're complaining about. Although I don't know why. Because they don't do it to other people. Nanner. TikTok. Why do you keep cutting me off? And then I have to paste them all together, you know. They keep cutting. Of course, then again, never mind. At least they're not too big for me to do it on my phone. Oh, I do like this. I enjoy doing these. I really do. I'm going to take a break. I will be coming back. Let's say, what time is it now? I have 4 phones, and I can't find one of them right now. Is that him? There we go. Alright. So it's 2 o'clock. So, yeah. Give me about 40 minutes or so. Let's say 1:52. Let's say 2:30. I'll be back at 2:30. Okay? To finish this. I'm going to have finally one of these completely done and finished. In one day. Not in one... not in one... taping, but one day at least. Okay, so we are shutting her down. I'll bring this in close because I have to take this off anyway because I can't see it up there. Ouch. Oops. Too close. Too close. There she is so far. Okay, see you in about 40 minutes. Well, I had a nice break. I did have a nice break. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't have a long enough break. I'm back. I'm ready to put the little accents on. Sorry, had to turn my speaker off. Oh, shoot. Now I gotta go back. Oh, no. Am I here? Did I just turn off my live? Nope, I'm here. hard to tell because of the delay. Let me put my brush back where it belongs. And I pulled out almost all. I didn't pull out the green ones over here. I've got had that one. Ooh, and this one, and this one, and this one. This ought to do me. That's not enough. Oh, that's, honestly, I think this is going to be too blue. Yeah, let's, well, let me see. Nah, it's not quite close to that. And okay, what are you? I haven't, no, this is a teal blue too. I have an olive at least. This is more teal than it is green. I have to look at these colors here. There is one here. And he might be this one. Let's see what I got here. That's it. That's it. There's a nice forest green. I did this. I did this for my color chart for these pens that I bought. These are sort of like ink pen felt tips. I don't know what these things are. Oh no, this is a rolling ball. I love these rolling ball ones myself. Yeah, it's a roller ball. And it's, you can just see it. It just looks like a ink pen. I should have done something like that because I know this is that color. And then next to it was the teal, which I just put back. And then this is the olive, which I've got there. So, but it's just easier with the other one. I better do a normal one. So, I'm back. Okay. Let me put this here. I just found a way to hold all these little color cards up. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I think, before I do any of the colors, I always do those last, is to do the black and white. I always like some white accents and some black accents. So, now, I'm going to do this one. Here, give me this. I'm going to need something while he's gagging a little bit. You know, I may go with this. This is more opaque. This one seems to be kind of like, I think he's dirty. I think, honestly, I've got to clean his tip off really well. So I think I'm going to get, oh, I hate these. These are equate wipes. And you can't pull out one at a time. You can only pull out 2 to 4 to 5 at a time. Which sort of negates the purpose of keeping them clean. I guess I'm going to have to pay more money and buy. I like them. They keep me, you know, I clean my pen off with them and not wreck things. And I can't use alcohol wipes because alcohol can destroy things. But these aloe ones are pretty good. Now, let me try and see if that picked him up a little bit. Yeah, it did. But honestly, I think I'm going to use this. I think it'll be faster, but we're going to find out real quick. Because this sometimes I have to do a double whammy. Because when it dries, it's not as opaque as this is. But there we go. Now, what would I like to do next? Let's keep this one. I just found out you're supposed to store these sideways. I didn't know that. And I've got them all pointed up. So, I'm not going to point them down, but that's all I have to do is pick up the holders and twist them. But I'll do that when I move. All right, now, I want some more white. And I'd like to do something linear. Oops, I just got that on me. That's too close. I don't want to go this way. Yes or no? And then I'd have it on. Oh, all right. I have an idea. Ooh, you're going to choke on me, aren't you? Problem with white is you can't see it. There we go. Where was I? Where was I? And put that in there. Hello, everybody. I haven't looked to see yet. But I did remember to say hello this time. I can be so rude. I apologize. I'm used to... Ooh. I'm used to... Yeah, that definitely, and it'll tie this in, too. I'm so used to working my little studio all by my little lonesome self. Well, that was interesting. And this, of course, is right in the way. I can't see anything. And there's somebody who's a user with a bunch of numbers. Hello, user. You need to get a name. You don't want to be called user. That's not cool. But if you're looking around to see whether or not you want to bother with TikTok, I may have to touch that up. I just messed up. Welcome. You might want to check out YouTube as well if you like live streaming and artist live streaming. There's all sorts of people and artists. YouTube's a great community. I haven't been there long, but man, there's some great artists on there. They share so much information. I mean, it's amazing. And of course, they do it because they're selling things. Well, why not? Why shouldn't they? You know, they deserve to make a living. But they've been very helpful for me with a lot of things. Listen, I found about these pens on YouTube. This kind of stuff, you know, when you find something that works really good, that you needed, it's life-saving, okay? This is, look at this. It's, you know, fairly opaque. It's smooth. It's, you know, I found out that, and I've been struggling. These aren't bad, okay? Actually, this isn't bad. It is really pretty opaque this time, thank God. I don't have to double it. But I've tried, I don't even want to begin to show you how many white pens I have in here, okay, that don't work worth a darn. They're lovely white pens, so now all I need to do is find colored cards that I can write notes on or something. What even happened to all the white ones? These are all the black ones. I got a bunch of these. I got 3 black and 3 white. These are perfectly fine little felt tip pens. I'm calling everything a felt tip pen that isn't a roller pen, okay? It's got some kind of a nylon or rubber tip or whatever kind of tips they use now. Because originally, they were felt tips. Okay, we used felt tips. And they sucked, but we paid a lot of money for them. I had a full set of Pantone markers with felt tips. If you think some of this stuff doesn't hold together, you should see felt tips. Anyway, And that should be, I don't, you know, that gives me 3 areas, even though it's a continued area, it's 1 area. It gives me 2, so that takes care of the white. This is a micron graphic from one of these. It's black, so it'll work anywhere. Now, oh, I know what I want to do. Oh, it's always this color. And I never have that color. I'm always, because I love it. I love yellow green. And I'm always out of it. And you can't, God. You cannot buy, with most of these paint pens, you cannot buy, got it. It's going to dry darker, but it'll be better than it is now. Come on, I just need 1 little drop and a little bit of yellow, and I got it covered. Color. That's it. Now, actually, this fluorescent would work pretty good. These old style paint pens, I like the ones that you don't have to do this to. And of course, I might be better off had I. Ooh, this is dirty. Shoot. I gotta get that color off of there. Ugh. Bring my little thing out here. I didn't realize these tips are plastic. And the whole way it works is the paint flows down. This is a good idea. These actually work. And the tips stay sharp. But this is plastic. And it flows down inside. You can see the little slits at the tip. You can break that, but I mean, you'd have to really, okay. Be careful here because, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen. See, they can only get so little. Now I'm going to take this. This is me being obsessive. With a little tiny toothpick. And I'm going to touch it up because if I had tried to do that with the pen, it would have been everywhere. Okay? Now, I'm going to pull in towards this way. So I'm going to have to touch that up anyway. And then I'm going to kind of blend it in around. And get it in there. It's not the best job, but it'll work. All right, I'll set those over there. Anyway, back to the black with a touch up. I'll touch that up in a minute. We gotta wait for it to dry. I also see a part that I missed when I was doing the. Now these are not the same pen that I drew the design with. That pen was a micron Pigma, and those are waterproof. I don't know if these are. In fact, I rather doubt it. But I won't be adding any more water at this point, so it's okay. You do want to be careful, though. Black, black is not created equal here. There are blacks with blue casts and black colors with red cast, and this one below has a little bit of a red cast. This one, and of course this one is obviously darker. All right, but you're only going to see that really up close like I am right now. It's a problem. I sit on top of these and then I see it, but you won't. I are doing book covers. I had to realize, everybody has to realize that when book covers are viewed in a bookstore, they're viewed from a distance, and so when you paint them, most artists aren't going to paint that small, or on a hardcover that small, okay? They're going to paint big. But there's a danger in that, because when the bigger you get, the more detail-oriented you are, you will get in there and fall down a rabbit hole, and you'll make it too detailed. And those things will close up on you when the art is reduced, and it doesn't look good. So you have to learn from the get-go how to, these have to move out of the way, how to make sure you don't get too intricate, too well, detailed, yes, but it was another word which just flew out of my brain. But I shall put these over here and they can go away later. You know, it's interesting. I don't think this is going to need too much, but which do I want? I definitely want some green. This one. And the question, of course, is which one? Now, when you're done, okay, I understand when you are, and you can mix these too, but when you're dealing with watercolors, and obviously you can mix them, so you can get the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and mix just about any color, provided you have 6 colors, which means you have 2 yellows, 2 reds, and 2 blues. And I said this earlier, because you're going to have a cool one of each and a warm one of each to mix your colors. Because if you want a purple, you cannot mix a warm red with a warm blue and get a pure purple, because the warm red has a little bit towards the orange in it. It's a little towards the yellow in the primary, so there's yellow in there. Yellow is the opposite of purple. You mix the opposite and you get gray. So if you mix a warm red with a warm blue, and the blue has yellow in it because it goes towards the green because it's warm, all right? Because the cool, wait a minute, got that backwards. It doesn't matter right now. Anyway, so if you mix the wrong primary with the other wrong primary, you're not going to get a pure color. You'll still get a purple. You're just maybe not going to get that bright, you know. You'll get maybe an eggplant like this. That's definitely purple, but you're not going to get this useless thing. Doesn't even have a purple. Okay. You're not going to get that or that. See? Anywho, you're not going to get the chroma that you want. So, I'm trying to think where I want this black. I think that the black needs some dots. So first we got to figure out where we want to put dots. And not here. I want to put lines here. But you know what? Come on. Wake up. There you go. I'm going to put some fairly large dots in here. Okay. I can't read people in the know. Hello, welcome. Oh, this is not happy. There we go. There we go. Pushing too hard. Why are you doing this to me? Ah. Is this dry? This is another thing that irritates me. If I get a set, this is not dry. It just doesn't like drawing on the watercolor. And that happens a lot. I'll just stick him over here and go back and get myself a black pen of some kind. Here we go. That will. And oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is a fine. I'll be here all day. 50 pens in there. 50 pens that have nice fat little nibs on them. And what do I pick up? Now, if I had wanted the fine, you know darn well I'd never gotten near it. Stupid things. There. I'm prepared now. Okay, now, I like that. Where could I put another one? No, because these are part of this, so they don't ever get filled in. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Hello. It's Bob. Is this Bob? I'm not reading that properly, I know. I'm having a hard time just reading it all. But welcome. And Cecil, welcome. What do I do with this? Well, I want to put some stripes in, but I don't want to put it next to these stripes. That's too close. It won't show up in the olive right there. I did there because I made big fat circles. And they're subtle, and that's fine because the olive drops into the background and I like that. Honestly, oh, well, you know what? Lines go two different ways. Hello. All right. There we go. There we go. Ooh, I just found out the trick. For these pens, on top of the watercolor, you just draw it slow. Okay, got that. And I'm going to do this. Something. Is it the white? Really? Hope I didn't smear it anywhere. I really enjoy doing these. They're very relaxing, and they're pleasant to do. I love blending colors and balancing them. This is very relaxing for me. This is my type. This is coloring for me. I just make my own coloring page. Okay. Yes, I could do coloring pages. I, as a matter of fact, have. I have, I think, 4 or 5 coloring books for sale on Amazon under Pop Art Diva. Also one under the Martini Diva. I did one's cocktail recipes. You color the cocktail and you got a recipe and you have art and a cocktail. So there's a black, there's a black. So that gives me enough little black guys to do my little job here. For the time being, now I want to add some color. If I need more, I can always put more in later. But I have to decide. One of these is going to get green, and I don't know which green. But I'm almost tempted to use this one. But it's so dark. The problem is that it's almost black. And that's what I'm afraid of. I don't think there's enough color in it. And this one, that may be the case with this one too. That's why I'm coloring on this. On this, I can see a little color next to it, but on it, no, I see black. Ah, there we go. That's going to have to be the one. Now, do I do a straight line? Yes. I don't want a curved line. So, okie dokie. Alrighty. Leave enough room, because I may want to put some orange or something in between, some dots. Because there's enough room to give some extra oomph to this. My hand's set in a funny position. It's doing it still. I don't want to get too many times across because then I'm going to lose my color. I keep doing that. And I think it's when the line gets to a point where my hand is out here and I lose the support. So I'm going to have to be very, yep, that's it. That's exactly what it was. I have to support my arm, I can't. Unfortunately, I not only have back and leg problems, I now have, what's that? That shoulder thing that everybody gets. Of course, I went and got it. Rotator cuff. Rotator cuffs. Both of them. All messed up. Because my arms were doing the work of my legs to lift me. So I'd be running around lifting myself up and pushing myself up and pulling myself over. And bye, shoulders. This one, or this one I think is too brown. I want something with a little orange punch. The other thing about having, ooh, maybe not, I don't know, or maybe, oh, this guy just wants to feel dry to me. How does this look like on this? No, I'm sorry, that's not going to make me happy. That's too bright. This one's going to be the one. So, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All done. All done. Now. Ooh. Ooh, now. Ooh, I wish I had. Oh, I do. What will that do? Absolutely nothing. Nope. I knew it. And the yellow isn't going to work unless it's in a pure white area. And the only white area is that. And I'm not going to do that. So. Okay. Let's. That looks good. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. Okay, now let me try the orange. Just, this might tint it enough to make it interesting. Ooh, it kind of does. Ooh. Ooh, I don't know what kind of a design I want to put in there, though. I could use these both. Okay. All right, and this can go all the way down here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why I'm counting. Makes me happy. Sunshine on my shoulders make me happy. Counting in my head. I don't know what the rest of the song was. I have to listen to him sing it. Oh, my doves are back. They're on my porch, making their nest in my mask. There we go. Now, I'm going to put a little circle in there. Oh, maybe I should do a dot. Yeah. Yeah, I like the dot. Do I want the darker brown? Yeah, this isn't the brown. This was. What did I do? This was not what I wanted. I wanted this one. That's okay. I will just do a quick little, not too dark. There we go. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That was. We're almost done, folks. Then we'll take off the tape. And you can have a gander at the finished piece. Not too much more. I do need to do something in here. Maybe not here because the paint itself had some texture. I would like to do something in here, but I'm not too sure yet. Let me go back here and finish these. I may need, ooh, you know what? I darken that with the brown. I like that. I am very much a person who could literally, I knew that wasn't inside the border, okay. I'm not blind. I just, I did it because I was counting. I want to put some more of the brown in, and I'm just going to go around here. I'm going to be very careful, do the best I can. I'm not really good at circles, but I'm trying. I mean, I can't draw perfect circles. Oh, that could be where I could put the yellow. And you know what? I don't have a darker yellow. This is just, he's just not going to cut it. He just doesn't exist. I can barely see him. Let's try the yellow ochre. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now, just out of curiosity, that could be interesting. That could be interesting because I really don't want to put green in there. I think it could get too complicated. And there's all those lovely little dots. And I wonder if I have... Oh, I got stuck. I don't. I wish I did. See, the yellows don't. They just don't work. They're just too light. What I would like is this color in one of these pens. And I have yet... I could use the olive. That's the Micron Graphic, right? This is the roller ball. Okay, so that's the olive. And this one. Let me see the olive and this one. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. Let me look what I have. Okay. No, that's green. It's got to be this one. No, it's not that one. So which one would it be? Not you. But I am showing... Sorry, folks. Oh, I know, I mixed them. Never mind. Don't do that to yourself, you idiot. Oh, not you. I think you're way, 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 way too dark. I don't remember how you went. I think you might work, though. I'm going to put a little dot in there. Make them real light. I can't make them much lighter. Okay, we're out of there now. This one. All right. You want to do that because I've done that before and not liked it. I don't want to do a wavy line. I don't know if I want to do that. I wish I packed, I'm sure I did, my tracing paper. I would try it. What I used to do, I had tracing paper, and I would put a little piece over that and then draw it on the tracing paper, and it would give me an idea whether or not I wanted it. And I can tell you honestly, I don't think I want that twirl. Wait a minute, wait a minute. I've got this. If I put it there, I could put one here. All right. But I don't want it really complicated. So I'm going to start it here, do it here, bring it here, and bring it right down there. There. And the same thing applies to the orange one. But what do I want to put? No. I could put them in all of these. I think that might be too much. Could I put them up? No. Could I? Right around here with the green? Oh. Or this green? This is going to be dangerous. Okay, all right. I'm going to do it this way. And then it's okay, I don't care what happens here. I'm just getting a feel for where it needs to go. Got a little bit too close, but that's all right. Now, I'm not minding that. I'm going to do this. There. I wish I had done it that way. Maybe I can do this and take some of the emphasis off of it. Yeah, it hit it a little bit. Not that I really wanted to get that involved in this, but it really is sort of the center of attention here. So that's all right. I didn't do a great job here, but oh, I don't missed messed it up. I'm going to have to be very, very careful here. Very careful. Hello, if there's anybody new, I'm not looking. Pardon me, but, oh God, I'm going to have to touch that up. Okay. I don't have any choice. I messed up bad there. I don't like, it'll be okay once I touch it up. But it irritates me. And I have to. And it means I'm going to have to go and hunt down that green pen that will cover it up. Oh, shoot. Ugh. Hello? Hold on.
Hello, may I speak to Teresa?
Speaking.
Hi, Teresa. This is Erica calling from Banner. Looks like you have a surgery appointment tomorrow, so I just need to get you registered.
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah, can I call you back in about 20 minutes?
Yeah, you can call back and just press option 2.
All right, can you give me the number there? Is it 684, what was that number?
888.
Uh-huh.
684. Wait a minute, hold on, let me
No, I don't know mine. What's my number?
888 688 4797, option 2.
Okay, 688-4797?
No.
Okay.
It's 888
88, uh-huh.
4797.
Okay, option 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I ask for you, hon?
No, ma'am. Anybody
Okay.
will be able to help you.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Wow, that was quick. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just about done, and I don't want to have to do it again. There. This tape is bugging me. Oh, good. I can clean this up a little bit. And this can get a little closer because the other one was, so that'll help. I'll bring this in a little tighter. The only thing about when you do corrections in a line like this is that if you're lucky, it gives you the opportunity to make corrections that actually help the drawing. So I'm going to bring that a little higher, and this a little closer, and this a little closer, and there. Now, I like that a little better. And also it hid that other little thing, didn't it? Now this has to be thicker because it was. So we will give it a little chunk and these a little chunk up. Sorry about that, folks. Everybody needs to know I'm going into the hospital. Shoot. Well, just enough little roughness there to throw me off. Yeah. But I can't not take the calls, and I'm just about finished here, and I am not going to start this live over again. I've had to do it. This will be number 4. I'll have to stitch this thing together. I'll be stitching. My God. I'll come out of surgery, and I'll have to start stitching. And I probably have... No, I won't. Actually, I will have stitches. So it's all about stitches tomorrow. Okay. Now, I'm not madly in love, but I don't hate it. Now, I have and I think I do, yes, I have a maroon. I have a moron. Right here. Sorry. And I am going to, what was I going to do? I'm going to stripe him with the maroon. What a maroon. Don't you remember Bugs Bunny? You're too young. You guys had other cartoons. Bugs Bunny would run around going, what a maroon. Ah, is he here? Yeah, he goes back there. I can put those away in a little bit. What do I want to do with the orange? Since this is where all the action is, what do I want to do with the orange? Oh, I was going to spiral this one. Now, I did... Where did I do this ochre? Where did I use this? Oh, I had this open. Oh, thank God. Oh, this is not going to show on there. Oh, actually it does. All right, so... Oh, it looks nice on there. I'll do a little darker here. I'm getting lucky so far. The paint is very shiny. And I'm lucky it is not rejecting the pen. There. All right. So that, I don't mind that so much. I would like to have a third spiral on here, which would balance for me. But it doesn't really belong in here, I don't think. And these guys need something. Could they... I know one thing I'd like to do right now. He does not like that. That's better. Okay. Now that pops a little tension on there. I think, do I want to put white here, or do I want to put it inside? But I do want to put some white here. All right, inside. You little bugger. Why does it look dirty? Yeah, I like that. The other thing is I am going to put some dots on one bar of this. Oh, he didn't get any up there. Okay. I'll go up there and see what I can do. Jeez. Boy, I lost that line. You, after all the bragging I've done about you, should not be doing this to me. Don't fail me now. All right. And was that brown or black? I don't remember. And you know what? It doesn't need it up there. All right. So, I don't want to put it here. I don't want to spiral there. I want it here. I want it here to balance there and there. That would be a good balance. I'm not sure that I want it in there. I might have to create a circle or something. But what I would like... Here I go again. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay. And the yellow one? I don't know. I know how to do it. I know what I'm going to do. But the question, I don't want white. That's too powerful. I really, do I want a darker one or one that just sort of, no, that's too much. I'm looking at these two. Now let me see what I've got here. That's just darkening it. That's interesting. And what are you doing to it? There, that's the one. I'm sorry. That's going to look good over that. Now, all right, this is going to be tricky, but this is where I want it. All right, I'm going to put, I'm going to put him right there. And then I'm going to put him right here. Ooh, this is, I'm going to make this thicker. Okay. There. I don't have enough room. I could do a short one here and a big one here. I could do a little short one here. That. And there. That was going to be tricky. I knew that was. Okay. I'm going to make this a little darker too. There we go. Yeah, it's got it. It repeats it. It's fine. I wish that had been a little straighter, but it got a little bit busier than I personally would have liked, to be honest with you. And that one, I'm sorry, but that one is going to be a plaid. All right, there, makes him a little different. What do you want here? He has to have something. He can't be plain because I've gone and doodadded everybody else. So he's got to have a doodad. What kind of a doodad should I put in there? I'm going to try something. Well, he just isn't gonna, it's not going to give me any freaking color whatsoever. Let me see what I got here. All right. That's something. Not what I wanted, but that's it, folks. He is done. He is a he. I think that's very masculine looking. Sorry, to me. Well, my glasses sure get dirty. All right. Are we ready? Okay, let's take, well, if I can get a hold of it. Here it is. Hey, hello, is that Dre or ZZ or Breeze? Breeze, maybe. I can't, the lighting, the lettering is like partially transparent and it's not making it easy for me to see it. All right. Well, hello. I'm going to knock those on the floor, and that will not make me happy. All right. Let's do what we need to do here to get these. Wow. Got him on there good and tight. Pull him off. Pull him off. There we go. Ready to go. Yep. Nothing on the back there. We're done with that. Okay. So, there it is. And notice that I pull these off at a 45-degree angle. And I do it fairly slowly. You don't need to rip. And if you do it straight up and go like that, you can pretty much kiss your paper goodbye. Okay? And the nice thing is, this has been on there for several days, if not a week. And usually the longer an adhesive stays, the less friendly it is coming off. You know, those blue tapes, you're meant to take those off within a certain period of time, where they don't come off very easy. There we go. And he's done. Ooh, I got something. Oh, I have a whole piece of tape stuck up here. All right, let me just leave that alone and go after it. What did I just do with it? I swear. I just finished using it, and then I tossed it somewhere. Look at my, honest to God. What did I do with it? Is it right in front of my face? Well, I cannot sit here. I'm going to have to use my lack of nails. Ah, got it. Got it. Whoa. There we go. That'll get it. I actually got a little paper torn off there. Now that's interesting. That's interesting to me. But it doesn't look bad. And I will use a little eraser if I can dig him out, and I'll clean that up. But that's it. We are finished. There you go. Okay, guys, all done. And my rating on Marie's Chinese painting color is, I'm going to give it a, between a 6 and a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. And the reason why is, it was well priced. I think it was under $12 for 36 small tubes. The tubes are big enough to fill these little guys twice, probably, okay? I used about a half tube to fill each one of these, right? So it's a good, it was a good size for testing, right? I got it off of Temu. I'm pretty sure it was around $11, $12, including my discount. I spend money on Temu. You'd be surprised how much stuff that I buy on Temu that I get cheaper that's also on Amazon. Believe it or not. Sorry, Amazon, but you know, when you import from China, so can other people. And anyway, so I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it that because I got to tell you, it's got serious chroma. There is some pigmentation in this paint. I'm knocking down some points for these 3 are pretty close. These 3 are pretty close. Some of the blues, But there's enough blues there to make you happy. So points it off for, come on, put a little bit effort in here, a little bit more. Number 2, I'm knocking points off for the fact that there was a lot of binder in this stuff. Now that actually is kind of helpful for certain things, and in this kind of work, yeah, this kind of flat work, it is. It actually blends pretty doggone nicely. All right, I'm working in a small area. I have yet to try it on large areas. I didn't have enough paint. I'd have to put 5 colors together to cover a large area for a graduated tone. These were small little tubes. I think I showed you, and I'll show you again if I can remember where I stuck them. All right. Okay, very small. Lots of colors, but for this price, you know, I mean, honestly, I tried it because it said Marie's on it, and it's got the, you know, Marie's logo, at least as far as I know, unless I'm wrong. That's why I bought it and tried it out. I'm gonna give it, you know, like I said, a 7. I honestly, it's definitely, I think, a good student grade. I think it's good for this kind of graphic. The colors are, look at that. I mean, you know, there's color in this. They mix well. I'd give it higher, but it's, I honestly, there's no pigment, not pigmentation, excuse me, there's no granulation whatsoever in the, really there isn't. There, okay, just none, not even in the ultramarine, not in the black. So, here we go again. Cut me off saying inactivity while I was talking. That's rude. But I'm going to finish this. So, like I said, I'm going to give this a 7. The colors are, I think, pretty well pigmented. Okay? They blend fairly well. The price, of course, was excellent. I mean, I paid $12 for 36 colors. They were itty-bitty tubes. All right, but again, as I said, I bought them to test them out. So, if you have a chance to buy them and you'd like to do simple work like this, I think you'll like them. I think you'll enjoy them. Just know that these are not professional level, but I'm a professional and they have their uses. So they're perfect for these. I don't have to waste my, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, but, you know, Daniel Smith's at anywhere from $12 to up. A tube. This was $12 for 36 tubes. Honestly, this is a bargain for doing stuff like this. Yes, I would love to have had some granulated texture going on in these, but you know, what am I going to do with these? These are just little exercises for me. I may turn them into not poster designs, but designs for products eventually. But at this moment, they're, you know, they're not putting in any work, so they don't need expensive watercolors. And I'm perfectly happy with these. The fact of the matter is, I do not know the one thing, and that's why it gets one of the biggest knocks, is I have no idea of the light fastness. The problem is everything is written in Chinese. I can't even begin to understand it. I could have it translated, but I'm sorry, it's not worth my trouble and time. Okay? It has a use for me. I think if you do things like that, or you have to keep sketchbooks, it's good for stuff like this. And of course, your sketchbook is keeping closed, so it's not going to get exposed to light, so do you really care? And the other thing is, I'm not going to sell these as originals. I may scan them and put them into designs, and again, it doesn't matter whether they fade or not. I'm going to scan them before they do. And then I got a little book full of little things and blah, 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 and, you know, relaxed me, etc. So, yeah, Thumbs up. Thumbs up for the price. All right? Later, dudes. Later, dudes. Bye.